What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Darium's Competitive Pokemon. Going to be playing a game on PTCGO with Decidueye Zoroark today. This deck's really good. The last video I uploaded, though, with this deck did not exactly do it justice. I mean, that was wild. Went ahead and uploaded a match of me getting absolutely stomped out by, the Noivern GX Garbodor deck. Like, that was insane. Item lock and ability lock in the same deck. There was almost nothing I could do. I just, totally got obliterated. That being said, I do think that the Zoroark Decidueye deck is one of the best decks in standard format right now, which is interesting because I'm wondering if that means that, will Garbodor decks start to come back? I don't think so, however, though, because the best deck in format and the most popular deck in format is still Gardevoir GX. I actually just posted a breakdown of the last 3 weeks of like League Cups. I think like something like PokeStats on Twitter. If you want to check me out on Twitter, it's Enjoy Enjoi friend. And if you look at my Twitter account, you could see where I'm kind of looking at. I retweeted. Oh, geez, my opponent does not have anything. I retweeted PokeStats or whatever, and they were listing like the most played decks for the last 3 weeks of League Cups that have been posted. So of the posted League Cups, the most popular deck was Gardevoir, and the next most popular, I forget what the next most popular was. But anyways, you go check me out on Twitter if you want to find all that out. I got to play this game. All right, I'm going to get a couple of Rowlets and a Zorua here. I'm playing against the Lycanroc deck. I don't want that. If that thing gets knocked out, I need to be able to draw more cards. So we're going to get these here. Definitely need to get a backup Zorua. And then I'm going to put the grass on my Rowlet. And then hopefully I can go ahead and get a turn 2 Decidueye. Also with the turn 2 Zoroark, and then I could just start trading in order to draw more cards. I had to get the second Zorua here just in case my opponent is able to start to... Nope, they got nothing. They're just going to corner me. So this could be a quick game here. Let's go ahead, evolve into Zoroark. We're going to rare candy into Decidueye here. I think we're going to do the one that's up front. And then we could just trade... And we're going to trade away the rescue stretch. I guess technically the Coco, and then I could rescue stretcher it back if I wanted to. Let's see. We got a Sycamore. All right. So, in retrospect, maybe I should have done the Decidueye so that I could throw the Decidueye back in if I drew the Sycamore. Like, that's kind of a weird play, but like you know what I mean? Now that I'm looking at it, like, yeah, I definitely should have picked the Sycamore so that I could throw it back in. But that's fine. I don't see myself needing that Coco. And then let's just go ahead, Field Blower the active, and we're going to Sycamore. So here we go. Let's let her rip, see what we got. I think that I should... Do I have game here? Because now I can probably retreat the Decidueye, right? Since I evolved. Yes, I did. So, let's see. Yeah, I got game. So, good game. We're going to hit that, and we can Sharp Blade Quill, the active Pokemon, 60 damage. We're just going to go ahead and roll this into another game since that was a quickie. And to be honest, I don't feel like restarting it. So we're just going to roll on to the next one. You got to see an interesting little interaction there, even though my opponent did play Corner, which prevents you from retreating. Obviously, evolving the Pokemon does remove all effects from that Pokemon. So, the corner effect got removed when I evolved with Rare Candy. If there's anybody out there who's got a question about that, just decided to keep that little tidbit on there just as a little learning experience, because that could be weird. I mean, it's obviously like, most players know that when you evolve a Pokemon, you get, curative like paralysis and things like that. But maybe you wouldn't know that you would also get, curative like effects like corner. So that was an interesting little bit. This is kind of a not great starting hand. So looks like I am playing against Golisopod Zoroark, and man, this deck is blinged out. Holy moly. Tell you what, whenever I play against Decidueye Zoroark, I swear they draw way better than this all the time. Like, I I guess you're putting, yes, I'd like to take my mulligans. Okay, I got the Bridget. So this is like way better now. So it was a little bit of a risk there taking the two, because if I got like two good cards, you know, that I couldn't afford to discard, then the Sycamore would have been just like that much worse. But that opening hand was just so ugly that I decided to take the risk anyway, just in case maybe I could get an N or a Lele or an Ultra Ball. Those were like the things I was really looking for. If I could get the Ultra Ball or a Lele or a Bridget, I knew like this hand would be fine, because I could just Bridget turn 1 and then turn 2 go Rare Candy, Decidueye, Sycamore, and you know, maybe Max Potion something if I happen to get smacked. Like this hand's totally fine with that Bridget in here. You know, seeing what I have though, you know, I have a large opening hand. Maybe my opponent will go for the turn 1 N themselves, you know, and even if they do that, that's like probably fine. Wow, my opponent's deck is blinged out though. Even their Wimpods are blinged out. Those Zoruas are the beautiful Zoruas. Maybe they have an unlocked account. I feel like I've seen this person before. You know, I feel like I've seen this account before, but I don't really know. So, anyways, my opponent, you know, they don't, man, I mean, they see the grass, you know, in the dark deck box. So they like probably have an idea that they're playing against, excuse me. They probably have an idea that they're playing against Decidueye Zoroark. I think that they probably are just going to set up their board with like mostly Zoroarks then. And they do go for the turn 1 N. They like see that I have a huge hand over here. That's fine. You know, I mean, there's a couple resources that I get to save if they do that. So that is okay. Though I, you know, probably would have preferred to keep that hand, you know, because now here I am with just a little bit of an awkward hand. So I will want Espeon at some point in this game, I'm assuming, just to be able to devolve some of my opponent's Pokemon if I decide to go that route. You can see they throw the Zorua up. They're more interested in keeping that Golisopod. That is a little interesting too. Let's see. I could attach the double colorless energy. I think I'm going to do that just to guarantee that I get some damage on the board. And I am going to bench the Espeon, I think, too. And we're just going to end. There's really no reason to put those choice bands down yet, especially since I know that my opponent probably, if they're playing towards list, they are probably playing a lot of, the field blowers. Towards list played like a bunch of those. So I am going to Ultra Ball the Guzma and the special charge here. And we're going to go get ourselves Rowlets just to finally start to get those up into play too. And we'll just energy drive. So a little bit of a lackluster opening hand here. Obviously, the hand that I had previously was much stronger. My opponent did put the Zorua up there in the active, so they probably will be able to hit this Tapu Lele for like at least 120 damage here. I imagine that they will probably be able to get the Zoroark DCE combination, but they are just going to go for a Bridget here. So it's possible that they don't have the juice in their hands, but they see their board position. They know I'm playing Decidueye, and they might be like a little concerned just that their board position is not completely strong. See all these beautiful cards in my opponent's my opponent's deck. I have to think that they just have an unlocked account. Like that is totally wild. So I don't know. Maybe they have a Pokemon in hand that they'd like to use as this last Pokemon here. That, or they have maybe a Lele in their hand that they want to use as their supporter for next turn. But, you know, I can't imagine that they would just leave this spot open here unless they've got something that they're looking for. So they are playing Puzzle of Time. Looks like they're just playing one. That's what it looked like. I don't know. It flashed twice, though. So does that mean that they're playing two? I only see one on the table. Yep, they're playing one, and they're organizing the top 3 cards of their deck. And they'll Enhanced Hammer. Okay, so their hand might have been a little dead. And that's what it looks like. Looks like they didn't have anything going on in that hand of theirs, because they did just reorganize their cards here. So I think I am just going to go ahead and rock the Sycamore there instead of that N, just because my opponent didn't do too much. So I'm going to keep that rolling there. I did not, let's see, I just evolved into Dartrix, so that's fine. I will probably go ahead with this Zoroark here just so that I have like a big attacker. I'm fine with that. And then I'm just going to end up energy driving the Zorua for knockout. That's fine. We do get to go up 1 prize. And I do love this stand-in Zoroark inclusion in the Decidueye Zoroark deck, just because this thing in combination with Decidueye, in combination with, Choice Band, can hit some pretty good numbers. You can hit some 1-hit knockouts. With Choice Band, you're hitting 190 damage if your opponent has a filled bench. And then, you know, in Zoroark decks have to fill their bench, right? To do like maximum amount of damage, do 120, they have to fill their bench. So you can hit, you know, 190 with the Choice Band, and then that's just one Feather Arrow away from knocking out a whole Zoroark GX. Wow, look at that thing. Rainbow Rare Zoroark GX looking good. My opponent's deck is swagging, that is for sure. But you can see they did not want to bring up the Zoroark. They do not have a whole lot going on their side of the field, and that is fine by me. I am just going to evolve here. Again, I'm in a weird situation. Like, I do not want to end my opponent. They seem like they do not have anything going on. I think I just want to Sycamore. I don't want to Max Potion either, though. I just want to be able to continue to pile on damage onto my opponent's side of the field. So I think that I will just Sycamore and go from there. Let's see what we get off of this Sycamore. We've got a Choice Band and the Zoroark. That's good. So let's do that. And then we could go ahead and trade, and we're going to trade the Bridget since we do not need that anymore. That was a cool thing about Tord's list as well, is that Tord just played like a lot of Bridget. He played like 3 Bridget or something, and then, you know, you use it turn 1, and then you could just trade from there on out. So like that was pretty neat. Let's go ahead and we'll put the Choice Band on just to get some use out of it. I am going to Feather Arrow this Zoroark, I think, and then just Energy Drive for 110. So I'm definitely putting some pressure on my opponent's side of the field here. This Float Stone's neat. I mean, with the Zoroark too, I can save that Zoroark for Choice Band, but I could just put the Float Stone on the Zoroark and get, you know, some retreating action out of there. Oh no, my opponent is able to get the Acerola play, but, you know, I mean, they're going to be able to trade with the Zoroark here, so they are going to start to be able to draw out of their, you know, not so fantastic board state. But they are going to go in with the Zoroark. If they don't have bench Pokemon to like back this up, they're only doing 2, 4, 6, 8. They're only doing 80 damage right now. And my opponent, okay, so they're going to Wonder Tag. They're going to be able to get, you know, a Sycamore or an N or something to bridge it. But they can't play it this turn since they just used Acerola. So maybe they're hoping that they get that last Pokemon here off the top deck, because they are not getting the knockout now. I know they got the DCE in hand. They did get a Sudowoodo. Okay. So I'm curious about the Sudowoodo inclusion, though, because, like, I guess they probably play Rainbow Energies. Okay. So, like, that's fine. But I'm wondering why that's there. That is an interesting inclusion for sure on my opponent's side. So they did get the knockout there, and they go up in prizes. Not terribly concerned yet, though. Like, my board position should be fine. I can go ahead and I could Mallow for DCE, Decidueye, and then I could do 3, 6, 9, 12, 120, 140, 160 damage. I could do that. You know, that could be fine. And then just finish it off next turn. I think like that probably sounds pretty reasonable. So let's just Mallow here. And let's Mallow for a Decidueye and the double colorless energy, as we said. We have 2 of those left in deck. That's good. So we can get both those. And then we are going to trade, and we're going to trade probably the Zorua away. We don't need that. Get 2 cards. Now we can Rare Candy into Decidueye here and start to get to work. So I'm doing 120 if I attack with Zoroark GX. I don't want to attack with Zoroark GX. I want to force the odd prize here. So I'm definitely going to go in with this guy. 3, 6, 9, 12, 130. Actually, I'm doing 130, 150, 170. And then he's just, you know, 1 Feather Arrow away from knockout next turn. So I think that I will do 1. And then I think I'll do the second one somewhere else. My opponent's not knocking out any of these Decidueyes. So I think it would be best to put it, you know, maybe on like a Wimpod or something like that. And then we are just going to Mind Jack here. And the reason I didn't put them both on is just because, like, I don't want to totally get burned if my opponent, you know, does happen to Acerola the Zoroark or something. And I wanted it to still remain within, like, you know, 2 Feather Arrows of getting knocked out, something like that. So I'm fine with that. My opponent, you know, is going to have to deal with this Zoroark here. They definitely don't have, like, a reasonable way around this Mind Jack. Like, if I just keep using Mind Jack, it is going to be very annoying for my opponent to deal with. I did, unfortunately, I had to discard 1 max potion. I'm playing 2 right now. I'm on my 3rd double colorless energy, and I discarded my special charge. I do have 2 grass left in deck, though. If I do need to hollow hunt, I can get some resources back, which is not a bad option. I mean, because I could go up and hollow hunt, and then, hollow hunt for a max potion. And I know that there's nothing in this deck that can, like, one-shot a Decidueye. So, like, I do feel pretty confident about that. It's definitely not bad. My opponent does go in with the Acerola again. See, I knew that, and that is just super annoying. But I wonder, like, what are they going to attack with? Do they have the Golisopod grass energy in their hand? If they don't, then, they go in with the damaged. Okay, and now they've fully loaded up. So they probably do have Golisopod grass. No, they do not. Okay, they have got nothing going on. So this is fine, because, this Zoroark's going to get to put in some crucial work. Now, I don't really feel like Sycamore-ing my 2nd max potion right now, so I think I'm just going to trade this Field Blower, see what I get. And that's good. I'm cool with that, because now you can see I got the Dartrix in play, and I have Mallow, so I could just Mallow for next turn and stack something onto the top of my deck, but I think I'll just save it, because I don't want to Mallow and then have my opponent end me or something. So I will just Feather Arrow. Let's Feather Arrow twice to the, probably to the Wimpod here. I would have to think on the bench, just because it looks like that thing's coming like up sometime soon. Or we could do 1 to the Wimpod, 1 to the Zorua. It's just a little bit of a weird scenario right now. My opponent keeps using Acerola, but I will just target down the thing with the energy on it. 160 damage. This is fine. It is a little bit of a bummer here that my opponent, is going to get to, got to heal that GX Pokemon, but I'm on odd prizes again, so this is fine. I got some damage over here on a Wimpod. They did kind of slow me down, but, my board position is totally cool. I got this max potion over here. Maybe the Espeon EX, like, maybe I shouldn't have this on the bench, just so that I could have another bench spot for something like a Decidueye or a Zoroark. But since I didn't have to play down Tapu Lele, I'm fine with the Espeon being here. It could have easily been a Lele or something else. Really, now that you could just see the power of Zoroark GX2. Now that I've got this thing up, like, I've just got draw power, and that's just, it's such an incredible ability, really. Just being able to be an attacker and draw power, so I don't have to, like, waste my bench space on something that can't attack. And that's kind of like the downside of playing something like Octillery or something like that, or even a Rangaroo. Like, a lot of times you're not attacking with a Rangaroo, but Zoroark GX is a very good attacker in its own right. So definitely strong in that regard. Gonna promote the Decidueye here since it has Floatstone and see what we get. I could Mallow for a Grass and a Decidueye and then Hollow Hunt. I kind of like that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's go ahead and Mallow. We're gonna put Decidueye up top, or I guess we might as well put Evo Soda up top, and just to thin it out of the deck. And we're also gonna put a Grass Energy. So let's do that. And then let's go ahead and trade, and we're going to trade a double colorless energy, or not the double colorless, the rare candy. Draw both those. Let's get the Evo Soda. Go ahead and put that Decidueye up. So we've got 3 Decidueyes out. And then I think what I want to do is, I'm going to Hollow Hunt for some things, just to get some resources back, since now I can knock out that Wimpod on the bench. Like, that's good. Or I could just clean knock out that Zorua. I think I'd rather do that. So let's do that instead. Let's go ahead, Feather Arrow, the Zorua 3 times. And then I'm going to Hollow Hunt, and I'm probably going to get back the Special Charge just to get 2 double colorless back for the use, for just 1 slot. That's really good. Probably also going to get a Floatstone back. The Floatstone seems good if I have one down here. I don't. So that's fine. I can get a Special Charge. I'll get, probably, we'll see. Let's just go take a look. We're going to Hollow Hunt. And we could get a Zorua. I think probably the Rescue Stretcher would be good, because I think I discarded that. Let's get Special Charge and No, I don't have a Rescue Stretcher down. Huh. And then we could get Bridget. No, let's not get Bridget. Let's just get a Zorua, honestly, just to slap that down because I have the Zoroark in my hand. And then we could also get a double colorless energy, or we could get a Lele. Let's see. Instead of this, we could get Lele. I think I like that. And because we need to sweep up just like a couple more prizes here. Because the Lele allowed me to like get a supporter too. And then let's also get a Guzma, I think. Yep, let's get all those things. Cool. So, gonna get these. I'm only playing one Guzma in the list right now, so that was good. I also have the max potion. That's fine. The Guzma also acts as like a switching out, just in case that I can't. Just in case I might get fuel blowered or something. It's also a switch out, so like that's good. I could also Tapu Lele for an N, so like that's an option. I'm just looking for some way to sweep up these final prizes here. Looks like my opponent is playing counter energy, so that was their play. I was like, what in the world is their play with the Pseudo Wudo? They want to use it with counter energy. That is an interesting little tech idea that they have there. Not bad. So that at the end of the game, if I'm up on prizes, they could puzzle for the counter energy, put it on Pseudo Wudo, and maybe finish off a Zoroark GX or something like that. So that is an interesting little card combo that my opponent has going on. I have not seen that yet, so that's pretty neat. Next turn, I am doing pretty well here. My opponent's going to end me, but I'm doing pretty well board position-wise here. I got the special charge. It's a little bit sketchy getting the special charge just because, look, now my opponent's going to end me, and instead of me just having, like, a double colorless in deck, now I might draw into the special charge when really I just want a double colorless in hand to be able to attack with. So, like, that's a little odd. But, I think ultimately getting the 2 double colorless back is better than 1, especially since I do have 1 double colorless energy left in deck that I can still rip off of like a Sycamore or something like that. I pretty much have got no reason here to play the Espeon. Like, I could go in with the Espeon. I know that my opponent's not going to be knocking it out in one hit. So, like, that actually is probably, that could be the game-winning play here, is to just Feather Arrow this Golisopod twice, and then Miraculous Shine, and then go in again. And then if my opponent hits me with the Zoroark, then I could double Feather Arrow the Zoroark and Miraculous Shine again, and that way I take 2 prizes, and then I only have 1 prize left to take, and I could take out like the Pseudo Wudo or something like that. I think so long. Oh, they also play Cobalion. That's interesting. I think that could be the way to go here as far as finishing the game off, just because it makes my opponent's board position definitely much worse by doing that. Let's see, because I know that thing can like knock somebody out in one hit, so it's got to go, and there's no really other way to knock it out otherwise. So let's just go in with the Espeon. Then we're just gonna do that play, and then let's Sycamore as well. So let's commit to that. Hopefully we get a max potion. Like, that's really what we want. I can Ultra Ball away. I don't really want to Ultra Ball anything away. I probably will just trade this Evo Soda and just do that. I could Rescue Stretcher the Zorua back in and the Zoroark back in. That actually could be good. So I might do that just to give myself a play also with the stand-in Zoroark. So let's shuffle in 3 Pokemon. Really like that. We're going to shuffle both of those. And I guess the other Zorua back into the deck. Let's do that. And then I can Ultra Ball for the Zorua. So let's get rid of the Tapu Koko and him. And then let's get that Zorua back. So now we have like another win condition just because we could do a lot of damage with that Zoroark next turn. And then we're going to Feather Arrow this Golisopod twice and the active Zoroark once, and we are going to Miraculous Shine. I guess my opponent could like pull off some counter energy Cobalion Choice Band play. Like, that would be a little annoying to knock out my, let's go ahead, retreat and Miraculous Shine to knock out my Espeon. Like, that would be frustrating. But they have like a very small hand. Like, the odds of them pulling that off are pretty slim. I think probably taking care of that that Golisopod there on the bench was probably my best bet. And, you know, if they can't knock this thing out, then I am going to take another prize here, which is really good. I do want to get my hands on a max potion, though, because, like, my strategy right now is more or less hinging on this Decidueye not getting knocked out. I really don't want this thing to get knocked out because that would be pretty bad. I do want all my feather arrows for the remainder of the game, so hopefully I can trade into it or something. The Evo Soda is going to be really good. Like I said, getting that stand-in Zoroark out. My opponent, you know, maybe won't see that coming as a way to, like, finish off this Zoroark without the Espeon. So let's cross our fingers and see what happens. I think my opponent tops out at like 150 damage to this Espeon EX. I don't think there's any way for them to knock it out. They could come up and Miraculous Shine me with Watch and Learn. Like, that would be super annoying, I think. Like, I mean, but I have, you know, 2 of my Decidueyes are evolved through Dartrix, so that actually would be pretty bad. Now are they doing the 1 puzzle or the 2 puzzle? Looks like they're doing the 1 puzzle play, just stacking their deck. My opponent was not able to put together any double puzzle plays this game, which has got to be frustrating because that's one of, like, the main, you know, strategies of this Zoroark Golisopod deck is, like, pulling off the double puzzle, getting some resources you want back from the deck. But it looks like they're not getting it. Oh, no, they did. Okay. See, I don't know. I can't tell by the animation whether they're playing 1 or 2, but there were 2, so they were able to get, what, Guzma and Counter Energy, so it looks like they are going to go in probably on my Zoroark GX, if I had to guess. That is frustrating for sure. So let's see. Where does that leave them as far as for game? They probably are going to attach the Counter Energy to the Sudowoodo. Oh, what? I thought they got Counter Energy in Guzma. Okay. So what are they doing? Oh, they're just going to knock it out with the Zoroark. Okay, they do not want me to get that. They do not want me to get that stand-in Zoroark back, so they were hip to that, and they're going to go ahead and Field Blower too. So that is definitely frustrating. They kind of eliminated that strategy. Fortunately, I do have a Float Stone here. My opponent did pull off the Field Blower, but I do have a Float Stone to play, so that's fine. I can also Tapu Lele for a supporter too, so that is good. Glad I have access to that. Let's see here. I just need them to not have, like, Counter Energy, and I know they have Counter Energy in their hand. I'm pretty sure that's what they got. And Guzma there for game. I don't think I'm going to be able to knock this thing out. What I'm doing, if I do 100, let's go ahead and do this Tapu Lele here. Yep, and search for a supporter. I could end my opponent, and I got 1 Max Potion in deck, 1 Choice Band in deck. So that, yeah, probably going to want to end my opponent here. So let's take that out of the deck. And I think I can't, let's see here. I have just 2 prizes remaining. I think that if I have to hit into this Zoroark, and I think I have to do it with Tapu Lele, because if I do it, or I could knock it out with Espeon too, like, that's another option. But I think, like, Espeon, I think it's better just to be proactive and do it with Lele. I don't think that thing's going to be able to knock me out. So let's go ahead and put this, unless I'm, like, miscounting here. So 120, 180, that's not enough. So, okay, yeah, we're going to do Lele, because I would have to hit, like, the Choice Band, 2, 4, 6, 8, you know, so that's fine. And I'm like, I guess I probably, like, I could have traded first here. Sorry, guys, I just, like, the counter got me, you know, kind of thinking there. Like, if I hit the Choice Band here, like, I don't, like, I could knock it out with the Zoroark, but I think, like, okay, so I think I'm just going to end instead. I think I overthought there a little bit. Like, I think I thought that, I was thinking that if I did get the Max Potion, so that's good. I think I was, like, just overthinking things, and, like, I should have just probably gone all in on Sycamore. Like, I would have had win. Yeah, I could have, like, Sycamore the rest of my deck away and just gotten the win there with the Zoroark GX. So forgive me for that. I just, like, the timer came up and I didn't want to ruin the game. So like I would have had win if I had just Sycamore my deck, got the choice band, and put it on the Zoroark, but I think I was just like in the process of figuring that all out and commentating at the same time. And you know, and I was like, oh no, we gotta go. And like now I'm here with the Lele. So let's hope we can pull this one out anyway. We should be able to, so long as my opponent doesn't just win here. We've got triple feather arrow for game. So hopefully they don't like do something silly like, you know, Ace Arola this thing back up either. Or hopefully they don't get counter energy choice banned on this Cobalion, because that could end the game too. So, you know, like I think, you know, hopefully my opponent just doesn't have it. They only have one Zoroark in play. But anyways, it's been a close game. I'm sorry for missing that play there. I know those of you guys probably going to let me know in the comments that I could have gotten that choice ban off of Sycamore. And my opponent scoops. So, long, grindy game. Holy moly. But anyways, got there with Zoroark, Decidueye. Thank you all for watching the video. I'm going to show off the list one more time. I went ahead and popped it in the beginning too, so that you guys can see that. But I do think that stand-in Zoroark is just really good in this list. So let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comments below. Make sure you like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Deck manager. Let's see what my list is looking like. Just show it off one more time. All right. So thank you all for watching. Peace.